wait for a few people to jump on. Oh, how does that tank look? Not a bad backdrop for this. We'll see if we can feed some of these fish, eh? While we're waiting for a few peeps. Ooh. They're keen. Keen as. I should watch these little guys. Some ferocious reef fish. Haven't been able to feed these guys in a couple of days. Hey, make sure to say good day when you're jumping on. I want to know who's here. Have a bit of a yarn while I go and feed some critters. I got to feed some geckos. I got to feed some snakes. Got to feed my mice. Got a few things to feed. Hey, Dutchie. Hey, Kurt. Hey, Bailey. We'll just watch these guys have a bit of a feast while we wait for a few other fellas and gals to jump on. Tank's not doing too bad at the moment. Considering the amount of transfer that happened with it, it's, yeah, suffered minimal loss. I think I lost a snail and, hey Doug, thanks for coming on. Hope you guys are doing well down there in Melbourne. Yeah, it's suffered, got one coral loss for the Pacillipora up there, but yeah, these fish are insane. They especially love eating seaweed. Absolutely love the seaweed. How's everyone doing tonight? It's a pretty mild night here in Sydney. Loving this little, hey Fries. Can't wait for this little mangrove tree to just grow out and fill up this space. It'll be pretty insane to have a mangrove tree inside my house. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Anyway, let's go for a walk. Let's go and see what's happening in the reptile room. Excuse the mess. One of the reptile rooms. One of the reptile rooms. I'll show you guys the other one in a little bit. Just got the lights off at the moment. Just allowing things to be a little bit darker in here than what they usually would be, but a few of the geckos and stuff are coming out. You can see a nice Ciliaris aberrans up there, just hanging out on that log, waiting for a bit of tucker. What else have we got? There's a northern leafy hanging out there. That's pretty mad. Got some crickets today, so I should be able to feed these guys up, which will be good. Wonder if any of the brown tree snakes are out. Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. Yeah. What do we got here? Yeah, the tank's pretty cool. I love that tank. Absolutely love it. Actually defrosted some veggies for the mice tonight. These guys are little terrors, absolute little terrors. Every time I come and have a look at this tank, it's like completely in a new position. What are you doing, mate? You're gonna hop out. Don't hop out. I don't want to chase you around. Put some little frozen veggies down in there that aren't defrosted. Might just pop your guys down there for 2 ticks. Shane Danger inspired. Oh, the reef tank. Man, I've been watching Julian Sprung grow mangroves for God knows how long. That's something that I always wanted to do. Ryan's here. I'm not sure who Ryan is. Isn't that you, Colin? Hey Jack, how you doing? These little guys are just going to run away with little bits of food each. They're absolute maniacs. I've ordered some new water hoppers for them because the bowl that ain't working for me. Hey Kai, how you going? Just checking out these mice, destroying a few veggies at the moment. Yeah, they are pretty interesting. They got a lot of attention actually, Bailey. They seem to be very, very cool little animals. G'day epic ants and animals. Nice to see you back. But yeah, they're really cool. Wish it wasn't so glary in here. Oh, look, here we go. Here they come. You can't really get many mammals here in New South Wales. You can get plains rats, but I'm not really that into them, to be honest. And apparently they don't make quite as good captives as these guys, so they're probably just going to go stash them all somewhere. Here comes another one. Get another piece. Back to the hide. Yeah, it's actually eating that one. There you go. Nah, Riley, they don't smell at all, hey? Like, it's really weird. Like, I can quite easily put my head in there and give it a good whiff, and all it smells like to me is sand and leaves and grains and things. They are a little bit messy, I'm not going to lie. Like, you know, that was put in there yesterday, and they've half buried that bowl. But, yeah, no, it's something that I'll learn to live with. I'm going to just change it up a little bit. I'm going to do, like, a hopper-type situation, or, like, a you know, dripper water bottle, essentially, for these guys. But we'll see how we go. They're pretty cool little animals. I'm absolutely loving having them, hey. They're very, very active, and I think that's really cool with these guys, but they do require a bit more attention than, you know, reptiles. You need to kind of be on it almost on a daily basis, or at least not every other day sort of thing. Yeah, I agree. South Australia's got some awesome licensing laws. Compared to us, ours suck. Ours really suck. It'd be cool to have something like, you know, be able to get sugar gliders, or, you know, even like little wallabies and stuff like that, or potoroos, or anything that, you know, obviously within reason, as long as people can actually look after them. Who's making all that noise? Let's see if we can find him. Where are you? Are you going to be in a position where we can see you? Nah, it's way too dark. That sucks. Little green stream frog's absolutely going off his nana in there. Grab a quoll on a specialist permit. Yeah, quolls would be wicked. Quolls would be absolutely wicked. I'm not sure if I missed that, but I think somebody asked, I think it was Lachlan actually asked how Atlas is doing. Atlas is doing great. Let's go and have a look, actually. I'll go and walk into the other room, because I don't think you guys have seen much of the other room. You might see a little bit more in some coming videos, but I'll show you it now. The lights are out, of course, but we'll go to that one. Let me just turn the light on. I'll flip you around. Yeah, it's coming along. Got Loki girl in here. She tried to charge my fingers earlier. That was really fun. That's okay. But Atlas is up in here, hanging out. Don't know where he's got his head. Where are you, mate? You scared me for a second there, dude. Scared me. I got a quail defrosting for you. Going to do our first feed of the season for tonight. For him and the jungle girl that's hiding over there. The green tree pythons are out. There's my Dory, my female green. I got Wasabi up there, that's my little male green. They must be able to smell that food's on the cards tonight. Look at them all. Snakes are out, got roughies. Roughies are there. I think one's actually, I don't know if you guys will be able to see it, but one's wedged in that little gap there. If you're referring to Atlas, he's a bird eater for sure. He doesn't want to touch anything else. The olive python, he's hopeless. It was funny, when I got him, he was actually into mice and rats, and then all of a sudden he just went birds and nothing. So I tried forever to get him onto other stuff, but you know, it's just the way it goes. These guys are, I'm not going to feed them tonight, because that's just going to be a bit of a handful while I've got a gimbal in my hand. But yeah, they're due for a feed too. They haven't had a feed yet this season, so I'm going to start them up. But yeah, I got the other enclosures in, when was that? This weekend. So I got the frill neck up there. He's gonna get a bit of a revamp, I reckon. I'm not exactly happy with that enclosure as is. And I'm also gonna redo the other two as well. But I got the Kimberley rock monitor down in this enclosure, and then the Gillens are down the bottom there. Obviously it's a little bit hard to see being nighttime, and I'm already disturbing them enough by having the lights on. So, you know, I don't want to put all the lights on necessarily. Like the frill neck and the bearded dragon, they're just passed out asleep. So what I might start doing is I might start This is life of a fish shop workers. You just find rubber bands everywhere. Doesn't matter where I go. Rubber bands, rubber bands, rubber bands. Yeah, Cole, it's like, honestly, like, I got 2 rooms that are just chockers. Like, if my wife becomes pregnant, I'm screwed. But yeah, it's tight. And we've still got a little bit of things to come. So there's actually going to be a snake rack that goes in there I'm going to rebuild the snake rack that I got now. So that'll probably come up to about yay or something like that. Absolute Tetris, mate. I might build another enclosure there for maybe, I don't know, maybe my Tristis down the line or something like that could get a decent little box. I might build it kind of deep front to back rather than width-wise, but I'll make it pretty tall, like probably to the same sort of height that these guys are at. But this is why I had to replace the fans. I had these massive fans in here and they came out like another 300 mil out that way, and I physically wouldn't have been able to fit the enclosures in, so I had to actually replace the fans and get that all redone. But yeah, it's absolute Tetris. As you can see, it's not too ideal, but there's a bit of a overlap down here. Oh, Grid Connect's where it's at. I'm changing everything to Grid Connect. All this side and that one are on Grid Connect. I just need to put these and the snake rack and everything onto it. I've got the humidity sensors and temperature sensors to come in. I've got the cameras. That one just needs to be placed in a better position. Ruffy's going nuts. These guys are going nuts because I've left the food in here just to tease them. Just got a few items there. Not going to go too mental on the feed. But yeah, the whole other room. Still got crap everywhere here. But this room's already all wired on the Grid Connect. All the way up into there. We've got the fish tank rack over here going on. Then we got this big wall as well. Everything needs a little bit of TLC though. Yeah, I've lost a few plants unfortunately with this move. All the animals are doing fine, but yeah, just the plants. I think I just need to spend a bit more time up here and tinkering around and stuff like that. Yeah. The children's python's eggs, unfortunately, I've probably... Whoop, camera freaked out then. I've probably, like half of them gone pretty south. The other half are looking really good. So I'm just kind of erring on the side of caution and going, well, I'm just going to leave them be. They're way too late to tear apart. I don't know what went wrong there because they were veining pretty good. Like they looked like they were pretty fertile, but you know, this stuff happens. So as long as I get a few children's pythons out, that might cover an electricity bill or something. You know, we'll see how it goes. It's, you know, obviously pretty gnarly with this amount of animals and stuff here. Do not know what happened there. This just seems to suck every now and then. But yeah, we'll see how we go. Hopefully a few of you have still stayed on here. That frog. Man, I was filming a podcast the other night and he just would not shush. I love him though. I absolutely love him. I wonder if that kicked out all my questions and stuff as well. No, it didn't. That's good. I don't know why it does that. Anyway. Yeah, the schedules are really cool. I like being able to set that sort of stuff and play around with it. And like for the price of that gear is, like it's not that expensive. Like, you know, $42, $43, like it's not too bad. It's a random moth. It's probably because of the bloody mouse seed. Yeah, they are awesome geckos. I absolutely love those things. You've got some Strophs as well, don't you, Cole? If you're still there. Hopefully you still are. Speaking of geckos, I might actually just get some crickets down and start knocking some of them into a tube or something like that, just to get ready for a feed. Is it the Aberrans that you've got as well, Cole, or is it just the Ciliaris? Or have you got like a whole variety of them? They're such a cool group of geckos. Such a cool group. I think they're very underrated. Just grab some crickets. I think they're very underrated. Just grab some crickets. mate. You might even get a lady tonight if he's carrying on like that. Might do a bit of vitamin powder and stuff tonight as well. It's been a little while. Ugh. So tonight I'm going to dust these bad boys with some Exoterra supplements. I always laugh how this stuff comes with like a tiny little spoon. Like, look at the size of that spoon compared to my hand. I can't even use it. I never use the spoon, I just tap it into the jar. What do we got here? Where do you get those Wi-Fi power boards? Need some for my wall of enclosures. Well, half a wall. You can get it from Bunnings, mate. They're honestly, most Bunnings will carry them. And they're pretty good. You can get, like, that's what I've got with the whole system. I've got the cameras with it. I've got the, you can get these, still haven't hooked them up. Where are they? Like, I've got a couple of these to hook up as well. These are like the temperature and humidity sensors. So I'm gonna have one of these in each room. And then I believe, if I'm not mistaken, these can actually send you a notification to say when your room gets to a certain temperature and things. So, you know, on some, pardon me, on summer days, they should be able to send you a notification to say, you know, your room's at X temperature or whatever, and you can turn all your power off, which will be pretty handy. Mate, come on, I'm trying to talk to people here. Yeah, awesome. That'll be really handy, I reckon, especially for here. But like even the cameras are really cool because they've got motion detectors and stuff in them. So every time I'm in this room, it's kind of annoying. I get notifications to say that there's been movement in the Exoterra room. But yeah, it's all pretty cool. And yeah, as Cole said, it's all controlled from your phone. So, you know, some nights the camera will actually pick up like an animal moving on the other wall or something like that, and it'll notify me for that. So that's pretty cool. I'm also using it multivitamin as well tonight. I'll probably do that like once every couple of weeks or so, just as a little extra. Let's see if I can knock some crickets in. Give them the old headache. Woo. Get powdery. Let's have a look down here. Alright, just going back through here. Kai, yes, I agree. Strophs are probably some of the best captive geckos. How's it going? Went for a herp today. Found an eastern blue tongue, a whip snake, eastern rock skink, red-throated skink, and a Cunningham skink. Very successful trip. That's awesome, dude. That is a very successful trip. A couple of species I think I haven't seen in the wild actually there as well. I've never actually come across a whip snake, even though I know they're around my area. I've been getting more people onto been getting more people than reptiles lately with herps. That's a bit of a shame. If you're getting more people than reptiles. Let's see if I can. Yeah, I bet I'll find a ton of them. I'm picking up a pair of Strophs next week to add to my collection. Getting them from Rick. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. That's great news. Rick's a good fella. Rick is a good fella. I don't know if we'll be able to see who's out. Oh, let me just figure out this tripod off the bottom of this thing. I've got a lot of time for Rick. A lot of time. Alright, flip you guys around. I'll try to do this one-handed. We'll start out with the Wyberba. Now, if the water bowl's dry, I apologise. No, it's nice, got a bit in there. But I do water in the mornings. And I wasn't here this morning. Did you get one? No, you missed. Hey, Darcy. Oh, he got one. That's pretty cool. Oh, that's a nice big cricket for that fella. Knocking him back. Yeah, he sure is. Alright, we'll leave those guys to that. Down here, I have my northern velvets. Not sure if I'm going to keep these guys, to be honest. I'm getting a pair of geckos that I actually want to put in this enclosure. And if I keep the velvets, I just need to figure out where I'm going to keep them. I do like them, but I think I'm going to like these other geckos a little bit more. Not going to bother tongue feeding geckos and things tonight. I'll just kind of go through and throw some crickets around. These couple of enclosures have got some brown tree snakes in them. Wow, best terrestrial geckos. How many northerns are you talking, Cole, or was it the Wyberber? The Wyberber, I've got 5 in that enclosure. They're pretty good though. They don't fling poo against the walls. The velvets, however, they definitely do. Yep. Although they haven't been too bad in that enclosure for some reason. I don't know why. What do the brown tree snakes eat? I've got them on rat pups at the moment. They're just on like fuzzy rats essentially, or like little tiny weanling rats. I've just got a little... Yes, mate, I'll get you some crickets. I've got some little... I've got a Moritz leaf-tail gecko in there. I'm coming. I'll just finish this enclosure and I'll get to some questions and stuff, guys. That'll be heaps for those guys. I only feed these frogs like maybe once a week. They really don't need it. Really don't need it. All right. What would you recommend as the best terrestrial gecko? I didn't actually answer that. I'd honestly say any of the Nephorus group of geckos are really, really solid. They're pretty easy to maintain. They're a nice big chunky gecko. Otherwise, you could also get into, depending on where you're based, I can't remember where you're based, Darcy, but you could get into things like Galliardus, like the helmeted geckos. They're really cool. I'd love to get my hands on some of those one day. Maybe when I've got a bit more space. Or if Rick twists my arm hard enough again. He's always good at that. He just tends to, go, hey, I think you need this gecko, Luke. I'm a big fan of the knobbies. Yeah, big fan. I'm actually potentially getting another species of gecko at some stage soon. Probably this year. But best colubrid or Antaresia as a first snake. I'd definitely say Antaresia would be better if it's your first snake overall. Colubrids can be a bit finicky. The brown tree snakes, they are a little bit finicky from time to time. They can really just all of a sudden go off feed for like a month, and then all of a sudden they just want to eat like mad. My brown tree snakes, they won't even eat fish or anything like that, even though I've tried to feed them fish. They'll only eat mice, and they have to be in the mood for it. And sometimes I have to tease feed the heck out of them for a fair whack of time before they'll actually swallow anything. But one of them is really good. The one that I got from Mitch is pretty good. Like if you give him food, he does pretty mental on it. But the female, she's been a bit of a pain since I've got her. Do you have any pink tongues? Thinking about getting a pair. I don't. I think they're awesome lizards though, and I wonder if I could do pink tongues outside here. I probably could, to be honest. Now you got me thinking. Just got to find somebody with them. Might have to have a word in Marcus Healy's ear, see what he's doing this year. But yeah, pink tongues would be really cool. I really, really like pink tongues. Oh, Darren's here. G'day, Darren. I got a picture of a brown tree eating a swallow at my mate's place. That doesn't surprise me. I know when they get big enough, they definitely eat quails and stuff like that here. So yeah, a swallow wouldn't be out of the norm. Did it swallow the swallow collar? That's awesome. My helmeted geckos are absolute characters. Fell in love with them when I saw them in West Max. I know, I was in that same spot, Kai, and all those awesome reptiles you found, I did not find. Best beginner Terrestrial species. Oh, look, honestly, either or the spotteds, the children's or the stimmies, even though children's and stimmies are technically the same thing apparently these days. Those three definitely go for gold. Pygmy pythons, I definitely think if you get one that's established, then there's no reason why you couldn't do that. But you wouldn't want to start out with like a fresh hatch pygmy python. I think that would be a bit hard for your first snake. Spotted pythons are good because they get a little bit bigger, so that's always good fun. But yeah, like my first snake was my stimmy. I've still got him to this day. He's just one of those ones that I just can't part with, and yeah, he just sits there. He's a good little snake, so it's always good fun. Might just see if I can go bust around a few more crickets, hey? Just quickly check these comments. Yeah, is that right, Bailey? I didn't realise they had that much attitude. That's pretty crazy. I have pink tongues outside in the carport, all doing well. That's awesome, Doug. I haven't ever kept pink tongues, so yeah, that's something that I would like to keep, especially if I could get away with it outdoors in like a little, like sort of like a little secure aviary type thing, sort of thing. That'd be pretty mad, or something that I could move easy. I'd just be worried about some sort of weathers and stuff like that as well. So it'd be cool to almost have like those really nice solid exoterra mesh enclosures, and then just putting them together right, maybe on a little set of wheels or something like that, and being able to wheel them in and out quite easily. That'd be pretty cool. What do you got here? Don't worry, that night. No, that sucks, Kai. That absolutely sucks. I would like a scrubby one day, but I think that's like a space thing more than anything for me. I've already got enough critters here to keep me entertained that are going to be pretty big for a while, and as I was saying earlier on, if I happen to become a proven breeder myself, we might have to look for a new place already. Are the geckos you're getting this year? I would love Spinogerus. I haven't seen Spinogerus for sale here in New South Wales for a hell of a long time, but Spinogerus are probably one of my favourite strophs, if not my favourite. I think they are my favourite. I love this book, the cover of this book. I've started a little book collection. It's only modest, but got a little book collection in my wardrobe there. What book was it? This one. That photo. I love that photo. So cool. Absolutely love that photo. Anyway, let me just read up. No, I'm not getting strophs. I'm going to be getting some more Oridura and potentially some Nephris. I'll leave it at that. Give you that tasty tidbit. What would you say are the best beginner arboreal geckos? I'm thinking about getting into geckos right now. I only keep pythons. Arboreal geckos, you can't beat strophs. Honestly, you can't. Like, they're good, they're active, they're day baskers, so quite often you'll see them. They're not as vicious as things like Oridura. Those guys can be pretty all over the shop and bitey and stuff like that, where the strophs seem to be pretty calm all around. That's just my opinion. Oh, here you go. Here's the Elderai king himself, EJ Holmes. Strophs are the best. Yes, they definitely are Elderai. But that's just my personal opinion. Like, if you like the look of the Oridura, they're super simple to keep as well, and they're very hardy. So, you know, leaf tails, they're really good as well. Just depends what you're into. I've definitely gone down a gecko wormhole though. Like, as soon as I start looking around in here, I'm like, holy crap, I've got a lot of geckos. and probably more on the way. Even more than what I'm saying that are here. Are coming, rather. You could easily make something with security screen mesh. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I haven't seen my aberrants physically lock up coal, but you know, I wouldn't put it past them. They're in the right environment, so you know, there's all the chance that they might be going for me. Darren says, I was looking at Steve Crawford's discoveries on Sunday, and I have to say I can see myself getting one. I don't doubt it. You're definitely in the right sort of position to be able to do that, Daz, and you've already got OPs, so you know, why not? Why not add some scrubs to the mix, hey? My faves are the Strophus ciliaris. Yeah, they are honestly some of my favourites as well. They get to a decent size as well, which is always impressive. Why don't we go feed my ciliaris now? I'll just turn this camera around. Oh. Try to hold the cricket jar in between my legs while I open this up. Got a couple of crickets out. Oh, that should get you. Come on, you know you want to come down for a hunt. But yeah, they're such awesome geckos. I love the eyes, I love the patterns, I love everything about them. You know, they're very obvious. As far as males and females go, they're super easy to sex. Look at this one. I think that's the female. Yeah, you can tell I need to spend a bit more time here. There's a few little bits of poo and stuff hanging around in enclosures, but they'll be right. And I saw none of them, Kai. Absolutely none of them. Aren't I lucky? There we go. That's pretty mad. Maybe we'll feed the Oedura in the cage over. And I might have to see if I can crack some tongs out for... Are you going to show yourself? You guys can't see it, but there's one sitting over there on that tongue-tied much, over on that little ledge. So this is Oedura fimbria that it's in here, the western marble velvet gecko. I'll come back if I see any jumping out. We'll feed the northern leafies as well. I'm having fun doing these live streams. This is good fun. Let me open that up for you. Where's your mate? Got two females in this cage. And I'm really bummed that Hardenbergia died. But we'll try that again. Need to figure that out. You gonna come down and eat? It's not focusing. There we go. Wait, there's the other one. Stealth mode engaged. Whee, nice catch. That's pretty mad. I love watching these guys hunt. You've got a little bit of stuck shit on your tail. What's going on there? Might have to just get a pair of tongs under that later. This one's doing the sexy leg pose too. Check that out. I'm just rambling to myself now. Like a crazy old lizard man. That's all good. I am... Oh, mouse is in the hole. Yeah, for those of you that missed it, I chucked in a little bit of food for these guys. They've already stolen half of it and gone and stashed it for later. This little guy's just getting into a few grains and things while he's out. Crazy old lizard freak. I feel like that should be a tattoo coming on my way. Let me just sit this down and I'll have a bit of a read. Here we go, here we go. Going back to a fair while. Right, I'm back to the last Griffin 8s comment. Found a bunch of southern leaf-tailed geckos in a huge cave on the beach a few weeks back. One of the coolest herp areas I've found. That's really cool. Really, really cool. They're an awesome gecko. That's awesome, Bailey. Yeah, it's good to start collecting that sort of stuff because it's always good to be able to sit down and have a good read. I love it now too because like I'm just sitting at my desk where I do the podcasts and everything nowadays. And I love looking over here and just flicking through things just while I'm hanging around in here or having a beer or whatever in here. It's awesome to be able to just be like, oh, I'll just read this one or that one or whatever. So I've got a few other little reptile trinkets and stuff like that up there as well. Let me just go back up here. Sorry guys, I'll let this go a bit far. Do I have any idea of how many animals I have? Animals in total, or let's not count fish in this or anything like that. Reptiles in the realm of 70 I'm going to say loosely, 70 or 80 in that sort of vicinity. Total animals probably in the 120 mark. All right, what do we got here? You're allowed to Steve's place, Dad, as far out off to get him a call. That's cool. Thanks, Damien. No, I appreciate that. Something a little bit different. I don't know if you guys have actually caught that show. I actually really enjoyed it. I watched the second one on Tuesday night after we recorded the podcast and thought it was pretty good. Yeah, music's pretty intense, but other than that, I really like the show. I think it's a pretty good one. What is the best type of beginner monitor? One that you can handle, not as in like physically handle, but that you can look after. It's very stereotypical for people to go and say Ackies. Ackies are a really good beginner monitor. There is no doubting that whatsoever. But in the same time, like, you know, Gillens are fantastic. Any of the small ones are fantastic. Tristis are good too. They can sometimes just be a bit shy for people's likings. Ackies tend to get pretty bold pretty quick. Depends on what state you're in as to what you're allowed as well. Things like King Gorum are a really good one too. Yeah, I mean, Ackies are pretty bulletproof, so that's why a lot of people do suggest Ackies for a first one. And like, let's face it, they're bloody pretty animals. Kimberley's good for beginners. I don't see why not, in all honesty. They're just super expensive and not as common. They can be a little bit more finicky as well, like, but they're pretty good. Yeah, Kai, I'm keen for some herping. Keen for some herping. What do we got? Do you know of any skink or gecko species that could cohabit with Boyd's forest dragons? I'm planning on getting some later this year, and I was just wondering if that was possible. Jason and I think we've both heard of people doing northern leaf-tails, guys in that enclosure there, with Boyd's forest dragons. So that'd probably be an option, because at least as a leaf-tail, they get pretty decent size. Like, you're talking a pretty big gecko. Shameless podcast plug. But yeah, that'd be a good option, I reckon, if you were going to do leafies. As far as skinks go, I see the way that I'm kind of looking at it now is the Boyd's being daytime active. It might be best to have nighttime active geckos for the other half of the shift, essentially, if you want to put it that way. Whereas if they saw like a little skink or something like that on the ground, they might jump on that opportunity. I got Jason messaging me now. I might be getting a new logo made. I'll leave that at that. Where are we here? The mice are doing really good, Jordan. I don't know if I said it before, but they bred and then they ate their babies, which not so good. But in saying that, they're bouncing back from it. They're eating, they're doing everything that they should be doing. They're messing up the enclosure like absolute mad all the time. But that's okay. I like them for it. There's another one in the food bowl right now. Where are we here? Within the next year to few years, I want to get Strophus ciliaris wellingtoni antenna cauda. as well as a children's or pygmy python, a blue-tongued carpet, a woma, and Kimberley monitor. That's some good goals, really good goals. How do I find the time to feed 70 animals? I talk to you lovely people and then go and just dish out crickets. Like I should probably do right now to my little tiny trough that's up there. I got a little golden tail gecko that, don't know if we'll be able to see him. Let's see if we can see him. This gecko is called Elliot. He's actually got a name. Never thought I'd name such a tiny creature. Oh look, he's perfectly sitting on that branch. Hello Elliot, how are you? What a gorgeous little critter. You need some crickets, but I need to be able to give you some small crickets because you're not going to handle anything big. Oh, luckily got some tweezers there. Let's see. Close that up for 2 ticks. I'll put you guys back down over here. There we go. Be back in a sec. He's such a little savage. I love him. Absolutely love him. Alright. I'm thinking about taking a trip up north next year to find some boids, forest dragons and black-headed pythons. Yeah, I'd love to do that. Hopefully we're allowed to get into Queensland in the next decade because I'm stinging to do a Cape York trip myself. Jason and I want to go and find green tree pythons. That's like a dream. Go get green trees, boids, forest dragons, northern leaf tails, prickly forest skinks, heaps of frogs, and of course green tree pythons. I'd love to see scrubs, love to see blackheads, mangrove monitors, water pythons. What else could you find up that way? Crocs, countless turtles. Yeah, that'd be mad. Absolutely mad. Where did I get my northern leaf tails from? I got one of them from Jason when he was getting out of the hobby for 6 months. So that was one of his last geckos that I bought off him. So he doesn't have geckos at the moment. He will soon. Yeah, so got one off Jason, and then I got one off Josh Thompson, who bred his, and then I think he sold the parents on actually, so that was a little bit unfortunate because I ended up with 2 girls out of that, so not a bad problem to have, but it'd be nice to find a boy and have the money to find a boy. We'll see how we go. What other animals do I have to feed down here? I'm going to feed one more little gecko that's down in the corner there. And then let's go and feed some snakes. That'll be kind of cool. We'll go back to the other room, hey? Go back to the other room. What do I think about keeping diamond pythons outside? Yeah, 100%. 100%. If done right, there's no reason why you couldn't. Sorry, just realised I was having my finger over the camera. Would you ever get any small dragon species? Yeah, look, if I had the right ones that I wanted and, you know, had the space and everything like that, then yeah, I'd definitely have some small dragons. I actually really like the central netted dragons. There are a few other little ones that I like, the ringtail dragons or ring dragons or whatever as well. They're really cool. I'd love to get those pebble mimic dragons. Those things are awesome. But I don't think you can get them in captivity. Can fawn ply enclosures be used for bioactive? Jordan, I definitely think so. There is my, it's hard to see now because obviously the lights are out, but that's my Boyd's Forest Dragon enclosure built out of fawn ply. I just recently made a really good video for that that's about 50 minutes long, so make sure you grab yourself something to snack on and whatever while we build it. But yeah, it's a wicked enclosure, and that's all bioactive in there. It's got about a foot of substrate essentially in the bottom of it, maybe about 25 centimeters, so maybe not quite a foot, but a fair whack of it. And yeah, that's fully bio. It's got all sorts of critters running around in there, and looks like my, oh, don't mind me, just catching a stray cricket. Oh. Nah, one got out. Anyway, it has, oh, you can't really see her, but she's absolutely chonkers. That's a big female Boyd's Forest Dragon that's packing some eggs, I reckon, at the moment. We'll see how she goes. Right, let's go back to the other room. I'll just quickly check for questions. No, good. Okay, let's go to the other room and we'll go feed some snakes. Go on a little walk. Walk. 9:09. Man, time flies when you're having fun. Look, in those kind of bioactive enclosures, you should check out Atlas. He's climbing the walls. Something tells me he's hungry. Yeah, as far as bioactive enclosures go and those things, I wouldn't be doing like full water sections and stuff. It'd be more like, you know, like the Boyds, like they've just got a little modest water bowl and they don't get too soaked all the time. All right, let's give him a feed. Go and grab my big pink girly tongs. How cool is that? Just like disappears behind the door. See you later. Don't have to look at you, but I know where you are. All right. What did my ambient enclosure temps get down to over winter? Previously, when they were in the garage, they'd get down to probably about 10, thereabouts. Pretty cold. That's pretty loud. Time for a bird. There we go. Tasty snack for Atlas. Actually, you guys can have a look at him while I read some questions. Ever been to White Cliffs? Going next year, hoping to find some shinglebacks and beardies. No, I actually haven't. It's an area that I wouldn't mind getting to though. Level of care for frilled dragons? Sorry, I just saw EJ's comment, the chin jumper. He was there where I almost got nailed on the face by this guy. That was always going to happen at some stage, especially when I had a big hairy beard. What level of care would you say frilled dragons are? I'd put them on the medium to, or easy to medium level personally, but in saying that it does depend on the dragon itself. So I was pretty lucky with Billy. I got him pretty young, so he was, you know, pretty easy to transfer into a different cage and raise up and all the rest of it. So he's been nothing but a dream for me. But I did buy an older female at some stage to try to breed with Billy when he was a little bit older. And she unfortunately sulked really bad when I got her. And she didn't want a bar of me or Billy or anybody. And she ended up just kind of starving herself off food and just carking it. It was really heartbreaking actually. So I haven't really been game to try another frill neck since then. But we'll have to see how we go. I might one day get another frill neck if the timing's right and everything goes okay. So I wouldn't mind getting some bubs out of Bill's. He's an awesome little lizard. There you go. Atlas's first feed for, well, probably at least the last couple of months. I know there's a few other snakes that are out and hungry. I'll close him up. Gonna clean all those dirty handprints off later. Look at that roughy. Doing exactly what a roughy should do. How cool is that? Why don't we open them up? The diamonds are going mad. They're wanting a feed like so bad, but I might give them a feed this weekend just so I can actually get them out and tub them and stuff. Hey, Ruffy. How you doing? You want to feed? You're going to try to come out. Probably should have planned that a little bit better. Oh. Come on, mate. There we go. There we go. Not so bad. Where's your counterpart? He's all the way over in that little crack. All right. Try to give him one too. One of the smaller ones. Don't worry, guys and girls. That towel's going in the wash. Don't tell my wife. Don't tell me you don't want to feed. Come on. Come on. Give that a second. I don't know if you guys can even see that. Why don't I try to come in from the other side and just pop that on the ledge there quickly. Wow, that one's so cool. Just hanging off that branch eating a mouse. There's no option to flash this. This sucks. Come on, you lazy bugger. He's looking at it, he's smelling it. Come out of the hole. Come on, come on. Smells delicious. You can only just see his head coming on the camera now. There we go. Got you eventually. So I'm going to keep a bit of a closer eye on these guys because obviously being in the same cage feeding, it can be a little bit dodgy at times. Not something I'd recommend for the faint-hearted. I have actually come in with these guys deciding to have a little bit of a bite on each other in the past when I've walked away and left them for too long. But after I get off this live, I'm planning to pretty much just watch a bit of telly in the room next door and come and check on these guys every ad break and make sure that they're not giving each other any grief. I love these snakes in this enclosure. I'd love to actually redo this enclosure and just like keep the shape and everything, but just hit it with tile pointing and make it a little bit more solid. Because as I go, you know, if they defecate or anything on there, oh, you can't see it because it's too dark. But as I go and do that, I find that every now and then I'm just scraping a little bit of sand off and stuff, and it'd be nice not to do that, but you know, it is what it is. Okay. Closed up. Locked up. I love these little wedges. These are awesome. Let me just have a quick look for any questions and stuff. Yeah, Morelia are mental. I love Morelia. What would you say is the easiest species to do for a bioactive enclosure? There's a lot. I'd honestly say that, let me see if I can flip this. A lot of geckos, things like those, and it depends on what kind of bioactive you want to do as well, remember. So if you're doing like rainforest bios versus arid bios, like rainforests tend to be way easier than arid bios in my opinion. But in saying that, you know, you could do heaps of things like different types of leafies, boids, green tree pythons you could do in bios. Yeah, just tons of geckos and stuff, hey, like geckos and frogs and things like that, they really suit bios. Anything that has like high heat levels can sometimes be a little bit harder to look after. You just got to try to do things differently, you know, like doing like heated hides and things like that versus like, you know, massive heat globes. You should see these diamonds, they're going bonkers. We want rats, we want rats, we can smell it. Man, those things could be put in the freezer for a month and then come out wanting to eat food. I'm not saying you should do that, by the way. That was just a joke. But yeah. Amarelli are a good starter species, definitely. A lot of carpets and things are pretty bulletproof, like they're honestly really hardy snakes. You know, you just got to be prepared that you're going to get a somewhat decent sized python of at least 5 foot, 6 foot, you know, even for small Morelia. You can obviously get, bloody hell, bloody gimbal. Obviously they can get bigger as well, depending on how you're feeding them and stuff like that, but yeah, they're good. Woma pythons, how do they go as a first snake? Really good, Doug. Another really easy one. They're a really good, I love womas. I've had 5 or 6 womas now, and I'd definitely get them again. They're one of my favourite species as well. I'd love to get my hands on some, like, either a really good classic example of, you know, a nice NT. Like, when I was in the NT, I saw this one that was like perfectly banded, and it was flattened on the road, and it was just a bit of a shame. Oh, I don't know if you can see who's joined us, but in here, she can probably smell the food. About there, that's Loki's head. She's woken up. She's coming out to say hello. What's all the commotion about? Why aren't I sleeping in the dark? Yeah. Best starter lizard for Aussies? You can't go past a bluey, mate. Honestly, blue tongues are awesome. They are super hardy again. Things like blotchies. Blotchies are fantastic. Blotchies and easterns. Yeah, awesome, awesome lizards. Frillies or bearded dragons? Well, I've got both, but I'd have to say frillies. I love frillies. If you can give them the space, frillies. How do I manage water changes in Loki now that I've got Loki in a carpeted room? Towels. Lots of towels down here. And the way that I haven't actually bought the hose yet, because I haven't had to do a water change since setting her up, because that's only been under a week now. But yeah, Stan's a pretty good Woma, EJ. I will be putting essentially like a big shepherd's hook into here with a long hose out onto a patio. I've got like a courtyard sort of thing that's got a floor drain in it, and I'll essentially start a siphon straight down the floor drain, and we'll go from there. There she is. You gonna say hello to everyone, Lokes? Can't believe you're a lady. You're a lady. I've been calling you a boy for so long. Ah, well. You gonna come? Come on. Come say good day. There's the beautiful girl. I should have known you were a girl. You're too beautiful for a boy. Nice slip, you goose. Yeah, she's an awesome, awesome lizard. Absolutely love that lizard. Hell of a food response though. Now, what did I see come through here? I don't think you can keep blotchies in WA, unfortunately. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think in WA you can only keep WA species. Melanistic water dragon. That would actually be a really, really cool animal. I've never even thought about a melanistic water dragon, but that would be a very sweet looking reptile. Very sweet. Oh, you bastards. Sorry. My greens were apart from each other, and now they're together. Oh, I didn't even flip it around. Sorry, you had to stare at my nose. You guys were sitting so far apart from each other. I was going to feed them, but now that seems a little bit dodgy to me to feed them there. Hi, Cam's here. Hey, mate. How you doing? I've been feeding pythons. We've got Ruffy's eating rats, or at least wrapping them up and giving them a cuddle. Loki's come out to say hello. She's hanging out here. And the diamond pythons are going mental because I'm not feeding them. You poor bastards. Albino water dragon would have been cool too, but I reckon melanistic would be off the chain. You better hold on to your rat and you stay with your rat. I'm just kind of sitting here just watching these guys going, you don't need to go and meet each other up. Don't you eat that ass first, you silly girl. Is that the girl or the boy? That's the girl. I can tell by your head marking. What am I going to do if I can't feed you two because you're sitting next to each other? I wonder what would happen if I was to like scent down one side of the enclosure, if one of them would actually go down that side and leave the other one alone for temporarily. Let me see what I can do here. See, this is why you don't cohab snakes, people. You make it too much hard work for yourself. Wipe that down there. Yeah, my father-in-law was cutting down the palm fronds the other day. He's like, do you need any for your snakes? And I was like, hell yeah, of course I do. You guys gonna go suss that out, or is it because I'm in here now that you're not gonna suss it out? So typical of them. I'd love to keep a green in something that size. That would be something like this size down here. I think if one day, if I needed to move the diamonds on, I'd probably move the greens into something like that. Okay. I wonder what I should try here. I wonder if I should try to feed the big girl and then see if I can feed the little fella afterwards, because I'm more worried about the big girl having a chomp at the little one rather than the other way around, because he's a bit of a pipsqueak. Could be a little bit risky. Are you responsive at the moment? You're pretty responsive. We don't have both tongues going. Okay, got that one down. Let's see if I can do this to the girl. Or are you going to shy away? Oop. Got a dodgy hold on that mouse. Dodgy, dodgy hold. Sorry guys, I'll come back to questions and stuff in a sec. I just want to kind of focus on this for a minute or two. This is not my preferred way of feeding you two. Oh, the girl really retracted away from that. I wonder if she didn't want to eat. Hopefully she's full of eggs. That'd be a nice thought. If she doesn't eat, I know somebody that can have it for breakfast. Blokes, you're all class, mate. You're all class. Just proving to everyone you're a girl. Well, there's a little fella absolutely piling that in. I'll come back to some questions saying his old mate doesn't want to have a bar of that. It's pretty warm in this room. Children's python or a stemmy or a bobtail would be a really cool starter species. I'd really like shinglebacks again. I'd love to get some of those guys. That'd be cool. yes, I'll definitely do a nice video and put something together for sure regarding the green tree python background. If you guys haven't seen it already, make sure to go and check out Cam's Custom Backgrounds Facebook page. There's some awesome photos and stuff up there, I'm pretty sure of it. It's, yeah, I can't wait to have that one here. I should actually hit you up about doing another one, Cam. I've got a couple of ideas, but yeah, it'd be a big one, a big one. We can see. We'll see what we can do. Maybe we can message each other later. What would you say is the best starter species out of the bobtail, the children's Stimson's python? Look, pythons are easy. Pythons are easy to look after, so that's always something that's pretty good. But in saying that, you know, shinglebacks are awesome, like really awesome in my opinion. So that could be a really good fun animal to have as well. And they're reasonably easy to take care of as long as you keep them a bit drier. That's always good. Would you keep any Agonia? Hell yeah, I would. Of course I would. I'm hopefully going to get some Agonia this year. I've already got... Cunninghams are Agonia, aren't they? I've got a Cunninghams. Pretty sure they're Agonia. I can't remember what I put on the species list. Yeah, they are. But I might be getting some more Agonia. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully all goes to plan with the breeder of these guys, because they're something that's pretty cool. This little green tree python's just munching down this rat while he's sitting right next to that big female. I don't particularly like that, but if she doesn't seem interested, she kind of recoiled from that. I like Saltararius personally, but there's some really good Philurus species out there that we can't get in captivity. So, well, not here in Australia anyway. All the Germans and the Euros seem to have them, but we don't. That's weird that green tree python didn't eat. I'm kind of hoping that's an indicator to say that she's maybe got something inside of her. She did only just recently shed too, so it would be kind of cool. If I managed to get a small clutch of greens out, I'd be stoked. That's like a dream species for me to breed. And I have caught so many matings this year, but I'm sure I've missed a fair few as well. Anyway. Boyd's Forest Dragons are pretty good, reasonably easy to look after, but they can be a few sensitive topics and stuff with those guys as well, so you just got to be careful with a few different things. Like, you need to keep them pretty well hydrated, you need to keep them pretty cool. They can be a little bit sooky, like frill necks and stuff can be, so you just need to make sure to obviously keep them, pardon me, reasonably happy. I'm actually going to turn on the fan, it's pretty warm in this room. Let's start it up. So yeah, I'd be cautious with Boyds, but you know, I wouldn't say they're the best off the bat beginner species. She's flicking her tongue like mad now. Sorry guys, just paying attention to this for a couple of secs. I should probably try to flip you guys around a bit so you can actually see what I'm doing. Sorry for the bad camera angle, she just rejected it again. And that little fella's almost consumed his, so. Not cheap snakes, so I'm not playing around with them. The roughies though are still cuddling theirs. Old mate's still trying to sniff this one's backside. What are you doing with yours? You're just hanging onto it as well. Yeah, typical. Atlas on the other hand, eat down that quail. That's a large quail disappearing down an olive python. And he's contorted himself in all sorts of ways. Look, if you could keep a shingleback outside in a reasonable environment that's going to be satisfactory for the particular animal and make sure that it's getting what it needs. There's no reason why you can't keep them outdoors, but obviously outdoor keeping can be, you know, a little bit difficult with times as well. So you just need to be able to be conscious of that sort of stuff. Obviously I've had some pretty bad incidences outdoors, but I'm still keeping animals outdoors, and this week I moved up my what do you call it, blotch blue tongue and my Cunninghams. They're now outdoors up here, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, you know, like everything, you know, you just got to be conscious of it, and you know, weather can obviously affect keeping animals and stuff outdoors as well. That's so weird that she rejected food. This girl is like usually a savage around food, and it just makes me so nervous to have that little snake, that little male, having a little chomp just below her. How is it keeping brown tree snakes compared to pythons? Bit of a dream species for me one day. Honestly, they're really good. They can be a little bit finicky. Yeah, like they can be a little bit hit and miss with food in my experience. And I have heard of people that have had to just feed like fish and things like that to theirs. Mine are pretty good in the sense that they only eat rodents. But in saying that, sometimes they can be hit and miss with that. So, you know, take that with a grain of salt. I just get a really established animal. And go from there, basically. That'd be good, Cam. It'd be awesome if you bred those. Eventually I want to have a big room, mainly for monitors, blue tongues and a Gurnia, but also some pythons and a couple of dragon species. That'd be cool. Yeah, I wish I kind of had just like one big room that I could do everything in, rather than splitting it across a couple of bedrooms, but you know, I'll work with what I've got. This was the right time, right price, right space, essentially. So, you know, kind of as close as we could get to where we needed to be. But we'll see how we go. What do I mean by bad incidences? I basically mean that I had a massive heat wave come through and I wasn't able to be at home to save some lizards, and the damage was done. I had blotch blue tongues outdoors, and unfortunately out of the 5 blueies that I had outdoors, I managed to unfortunately lose 4 of them. And they essentially cooked alive. It was like a 42, 43 degree heat wave that lasted for 48 hours, and I wasn't home for a good portion of it, and I was freaking out for a lot of my animals, even the indoor animals I was really freaking out of, because that was just something that I just didn't even think was possible in Sydney, basically. Not that sort of... It was like a westerly type wind as well, which was horrible. It was just like an oven outdoors. So that's basically why I've got all my power on Grid Connect gear here, so I can control it from no matter where I am. I can turn all the lights on, turn all the lights off. And they're all on separate circuits too. So they're all on, you know, heat's on one circuit, UV's on one circuit, LEDs are on one circuit, so I can control it all. So I'm also going to be setting up my temperature sensors and stuff too. So that'll be able to, you know, flick me a message to say, hey, your reptile room's overheating, and I can flip everything off, save myself some electricity and save my animals. More importantly, of course. Hoping to get a shingle back next year if the lockdown lifts. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Honestly, I'd like to get a shingle back again one day when I got a bit more space. A bit more space up my sleeve. That is so weird. I'm absolutely freaking about that. The fact that she just sat there and didn't care at all while he ate that. A little bit weird. A little bit weird. Anyway, you guys can't really see those guys. Oh, we got some movement on the roughy front. Someone's starting. Old mate's still hugging his. Anyway, guys, I might love you and leave you and continue to watch my snakes for a little while. Thank you so much for hanging around on this video. I know I've been going for about an hour 20 at the moment. Yeah, pretty solid live stream. If you guys want to, make sure to go and support me over on Patreon as well. Even as much for, you know, $1 a month, you can get yourself some early access to some videos and stuff like that, and you also get some extra content and bits and pieces. That's always a good way if you want to support here. Obviously, just watching these videos and stuff's awesome support, and I really appreciate that. But if you decide that you want to go that little mile extra, Patreon's the best place to do it. I also do Patreon live streams and stuff like that from time to time as well, so it's a little bit more intimate and, you know, a little bit more focused and stuff like that. But these awesome live streams have been good lately as well. Really good fun. more than happy to answer questions, guys. So yeah, thanks so much for coming on board and being really interactive. It's been an awesome live stream, so I really appreciate it. Anyway, guys, look after yourselves, and yeah, take it easy.